this news conference together this afternoon, I think certainly signals to all of us that they were able to sit down and do this as amicably as possible. And I think that just feels like a good thing for everyone in the NFL.
Greeny, that was the first thing that stood out to me when I saw that there was a news conference, 12 o'clock Eastern time, in the team auditorium. So it's not in this room I'm standing in, which is the daily news conference room. They step it up to the team auditorium where the players meet, where we're in post-game, when it's much bigger. And it's not just owner Robert Kraft. It's Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick together, because they will forever be linked. And while goodbyes are hard after 24 years, they've come to a point where they feel comfortable standing together as they say this goodbye.
Spare me. Thank you. God, some of this stuff this morning, it made me want to puke. This morning I thought, this morning really, I'm just not wired to take the bullcrap. And I do not think Bill Belichick looked comfortable up there this morning. I felt he was being dragged in front of the camera. And to me, it's pretty clear what happened there. There was a negotiation. Robert desperately wanted that moment. He desperately wanted the photo op. Shaking hands on the last day, Bill Belichick calling himself a Patriot. He was desperate for it. So, Kraft, I'll pay you your money. I'm not going to hold out for a trade. Just give me the day. And Bill says, all right, I ain't going through any statement, and then that's it. I'm not taking any questions. And Robert's like, okay. And so that's what, Bill, I ain't taking any questions. And we're not turning this into some thing. You want the picture? I'll shake your hand. We'll take the picture. I'll read a statement. And then I'm done. Which is why Robert had to come back 2 hours later and do the question and answer thing. So it was all negotiated. It's not amicable. It was really just a give on the part of Bill Belichick. He didn't have to give Robert that. But, maybe just, expedite the thing. Get the hell out of here. Fine, Robert. Shake your hand. I'll read a statement. To me, there was nothing comfortable about it.
No, it was something like that.
And he did them a solid. I never thought he would do them a solid. And the way ESPN portrayed it this morning, I thought was embarrassing. I mean, I really did. But I get how it works. It's quid pro quo. I mean, ESPN had the story, right?
Right.
We went Schefter the first one to.
Yep.
So I know how this thing works. I've been on all sides of it. You get the story, but we want it portrayed a certain way. And boy, did ESPN lean into it. Listen to the first half hour of the Get Up show this morning, which I usually, watch and listen to. You know what wasn't mentioned? 4-13, the record this year. You know what wasn't mentioned? 29-39, the record since Brady left. In fact, I don't even think Brady was mentioned. I barely got a mention of Brady. It was just all about the greatness of Bill Belichick. So there was a massive tribute to Bill. And the portrayal of this thing being amicable, I mean, it was written, it was said in the joint story that Maz just referenced from Reese and Schefter on ESPN.com. Belichick and Patriots owner Robert Kraft spent a good part of this week periodically meeting and discussing how each side wanted to proceed. From sources familiar with those conversations, there was said to be no conflict, no disagreement, and in the end, productive talks resulted in a mutual decision that left both sides comfortable and at ease. Look, again, I thought Bill was good today at noon. I would not say he was comfortable and at ease. And who thinks Bill Belichick is comfortable with being fired from a job in which he made $25 million, controlled the entire operation, and worked with his kids? Oh, I'm totally comfortable with someone taking that away from me. I'm at ease with that.
Me too.
As all divorces usually go to. Both parties are
Come on, guys. But listen,
comfortable and at ease.
that's what the team asked, and ESPN gave it to him. Charlie Weiss worked with Bill, worked for the Krafts, has had several jobs in coaching where he's been fired, buyouts, he's been on all sides of the thing. Here's what Charlie Weiss said yesterday to Damon Amendola, number one, Jimmy, please.
If this is a separation, it might publicly play out like a amicable one, but I can promise you this: if there's a separation, it's not amicable.
Simple as that. Yet Schefter won this morning, please, Jimmy.
They did, as one person described to me, they took the high road here.
Right.
And they're letting Bill Belichick go find another job if that's what he wants to do.
They took the high road and are letting Bill go. They have no leverage. The only leverage they had to trade him was to play the waiting game.
Mm-hmm.
And to sit there and let Bill Belichick show up in the building every day and go to work while they interviewed no one, pursued no one, and just let the days click off the calendar for weeks or months. And then at that point, maybe they'd have the leverage to say, Bill, if you want to go, you have to accept a trade. But in the interim, the organization would have been in a holding pattern, able to do nothing. Because anything that they do would be usurping Belichick's contract. So they had no leverage. If Robert had a chance to get a first-round pick for Bill Belichick, you don't think he would have done it?
Of course he would have.
Oh, my God, this bullcrap. Number 2, Jimmy, please. Schefter, number 2.
The conversations resumed on Wednesday, and both men, I was told, these were productive, healthy, non-contentious conversations that ultimately ended with both sides agreeing that this was the best thing and what I think each side wanted to do.
Do you think Bill really wants to leave?
No, that was the clip that made me want to puke.
I mean, yes, I'm sure he's looking forward to starting over with another great job now, but dial it back even just 6 months, 2 months. Do you think Bill wants to leave a job in which he makes $25 million guaranteed, has complete control of the operation, and works with his kids and gets to do whatever he wants for the most part? Who would want to leave that? He doesn't want to leave that. But yet, I've got to be sold that today by ESPN via the Krafts, and I reject it. I'm not wired to accept it.
Because you have a brain.
Because I can think a little independently, and I have at least a little bit of a brain. Oh, my God. Number 3, Jimmy, please.
Yeah, a few things there, and I think Dan raises a great point about the fact that it is a joint press conference this afternoon between both sides, which tells you that this process, as it was explained to me, was peaceful. It was non-contentious, and that's what you want in the end for a tandem, an owner and a head coach that will go down and be a part of NFL history.
This is also the one that I love. This happened in the Athletic story, and now Schefter does it for him. This piece, this is one I love. Number 4, if you could, Jimmy, please.
Look at the history of success in this league of the last 3 head coaches in New England. Their last 3 coaches have been Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll, Bill Parcells. That's a pretty good track record for Robert Kraft. They're going to try to duplicate it.
Sorry, I love how Kraft takes credit for Bill Parcells, who he inherited, did not hire. He inherited and then pushed out the door. Pete Carroll, who he fired and sent packing after 3 seasons.
Yep.
And Bill Belichick, who he's now fired as well, but I'll give him credit for Belichick. I won't take anything away from him with Bill Belichick. He nailed that. It was a great trade, great move. I'm not being sarcastic. Kraft deserves credit for Belichick. Parcells? He inherited Parcells and pushed him out. Pete Carroll, he sent packing after 3 seasons.
Well, Pete was a clown here.
But all I'm trying to say is, how can you claim credit
You can't, except he does.
for those first 2?
I mean, and again, as you pointed out, that showed up in the Athletic story originally. The Parcells one, he blows me out of the water.
Come on.
He hated Parcells. They hated Parcells. They hated him. So now all of a sudden they decide. So you know what he's trying to say there? Oh, I can find the next guy. Look at my history of identifying coaches. And now Mayo. Watch.
So instead of talking about why Belichick got fired, 4-13, 29-39 post Brady, I got this from Teddy Bruschi. If you could there, Jimmy, please. Teddy Bruschi.
What was it like playing for Bill Belichick? What do you think the first thing you'll tell them will be?
Okay, here's what it's like to play for Coach Belichick. I want you all to think of a wet towel, okay? You know a wet towel when it drips and what you try to do is get all of that water out of that wet towel. And how do you do it? You take both of your hands and you wring that towel over and over and over again, okay? That towel is the player. Bill Belichick are the hands that wring the water out. And the water is the talent of that player. Belichick could get every drop of physical ability, mental ability, football playing ability out of you somehow, some way. And it didn't matter how he did it, it was going to happen. And if you were a player that wanted to win championships, that's exactly what you wanted. You wanted every ounce of ability to be wrung out of you somehow, some way, because the success of winning Super Bowls is what this game is all about. And that's what it was like to play for Bill Belichick.
Barf.
Like Mac Jones?
Yeah. Albert Hainsworth.
Yeah. In the
Jonnu
case of Mac Jones, he used you to wipe up the mess on the floor, and he left you there in the corner to get moldy.
Hillbilly wiped with him.
It's like he took the towel, and like a hillbilly, he put it up front and the back. And this is how he wiped. Front to back. Like hillbillies do with curtains when they stay at a Motel 6. That's right, Ma. It was just too much for me. I'm sorry.
Of course,
It
well,
was
that's ridiculous.
It was just altogether too much.
I mean, that one is like, wow. Holy crap.
I just, Bill deserves nice things being said of him on the way out the door. I felt that for weeks. But you just got to keep it real. You got to tell it like it is for me, for my sensibilities.
Yeah, in any of these cases, does it have to be so sickeningly sweet? Of course he deserves all these accolades, but like...
Keep it real.
Right.
Tell it like it is. Charlie Weiss, again, please, Charlie. Tell it like it is.
When Bill came out and said, right after the game, while I'm under contract, when's the last time you heard him say anything about his own contract?
You can
Never
stop
has
right
not
there.
answered.
You can stop right there. Tell it like it is. Give me the news story. The news story is what really happened at the end. How did it go bad? How did we get here? If you're doing a news show, that's the news. Don't feed me this stuff.
Well, you see, in that scenario, Robert Kraft was the towel. As Bill Belichick was squeezing every drop out of the owner of the Patriots to get every nickel he was owed. That's what he was doing.
Tony and Sonam, quick.
Quick, I'll tell you. You guys are beating us all wrong. Why would Belichick want to stay here? He's looking for a record, and he's got no team. So, of course, he wants to go somewhere.
So why did he
where
quit?
he can win.
So why did he
and
quit?
start winning here?
Why did he quit last year?
Because he didn't realize that. Now,
Oh, I see. Now he realized it. Why didn't he quit 2 years ago?
Because he'd had to give up the money. That's why.
Why didn't he quit with the Cam Newton year? Why did he walk away then? Because he was never going to leave this job. Why would he? I wouldn't. You'd have to fire my ass, too.
Tony said the other day that Belichick wasn't going to get fired. He said the other day, you guys are making this up. Now Belichick gets fired, and all of a sudden, Belichick wanted to get out of here.
Once again,
Come on.
we're not making it up. He got fired, no matter what they're calling it.
The thing deteriorated. He was gone. This idea that the Krafts let him leave. I can't tell you how much I love that.
Oh, that's just precious.
You gotta be kidding me. You see how nice we are? No, we let him go. We let him go. We wanted to keep him. But he wanted to go, so we let him go.
More your thoughts coming your yeah, it's just like this thing I was fed this morning on ESPN was just too much. So again, I'm not surprised, callers, and I'm not really outraged, and they're certainly not the only team to be PR conscious. They are just those things. And when I get fed a line of crap, I just naturally, it doesn't go down. So what can I tell you? This is what we do. And you can keep calling me on it, no problem. But it was a steaming pile of bullcrap. Well, and when it's forced down my throat, I just naturally sort of react against it. I can't help it. Peaceful, non-contentious. Number 3, Jimmy? Schefter, number 3?
Yeah, a few things there, and I think Dan raises a great point about the fact that it is a joint press conference this afternoon between both sides, which tells you that this process, as it was explained to me, was peaceful. It was non-contentious, and that's what you want in the end for a tandem, an owner and a head coach that will go down and be a part of NFL history.
So peaceful. Like, all right, so like, they weren't throwing chairs at each other, coffee mugs at each other. I don't know, what does that mean, peaceful?
No, it means that nobody punched anybody. Again, it's preposterous. The whole thing it's ridiculous. Bill Belichick did not want to leave New England. He did not want to leave New England. That was not his call. How can it be peaceful? So again, was there any bloodshed? No. Like, nobody punched anybody in the nose or gave someone a fat lip. But the fact of the matter is they weren't in agreement on it. At the end of the day, the Patriots really had no choice but to pay him. Either that or they had to bring him back.
Bill had a choice whether to go to the podium today, so he did. That was the big give today. That's the only one that gave anything. Kraft didn't give anything. We're letting him leave. You had no leverage. You had no choice. If you wanted to move on to a new coach, you had no other recourse. So you didn't give anything. The Patriots gave nothing today. Belichick gave a little something. He allowed himself to be a part of a production that he probably had very little interest in. So that's the only one that gave it. He's just a giver. That Bill, just a giver, Maz.
Belichick will be allowed to leave the team without the Patriots seeking compensation. Like what, a 7th round pick? Like, what were you going to get?
Long commercial free